One. Beautiful faces. What is up, guys? We are about ready to dive into today's class, and Austin just shared something amazing about his new programmatic SEO website. What you got, Austin?
So I finally have launched my programmatic SEO website. I haven't got it onto Google yet. One of the things that Jeff, you could probably help out with is gathering that list of states, cities, and zip codes. Because that's the one thing that I'm struggling with. I'm like, there is a lot of states, and they're like on top of cities and zip codes. It's crazy. The website that I launched is for because I have a couple people and I'm personally interested and have tried out jujitsu. So I created a website to find jujitsu dojos near people, and it's Find Jujitsu Near Me.
Let's go, man. Heck yeah. Do you want to share your screen? Can we see it?
Sure. It's not.
Yeah. So have you ever, I mean, I know, Austin, we did Bubble together.
Yes.
Like you have been with me like for a minute, you know what I mean? So we've done stuff. Have you ever coded before? And what is your experience before coding with this site? What is your experience with a website like this?
So I've never actually done anything programmatic like SEO website wise. I've only done the only web like programming. I have full stack development programming knowledge. I just so the whole programmatic SEO part though is new to me, and I haven't really like dove deep into it until you started talking about it. So just to give you guys an idea, this is the website so far. It's
Find Jujitsu Near Me, dude. This is awesome.
I only have some sample data here. So right now, if you go to this is just data that I scraped from Google. So Gracie Barra San Diego, that jujitsu class or jujitsu dojo. So if I hit learn more, this pops up about the dojo, the instructors, class schedule, and it also shows other dojos in California.
Look at you, Austin. Dude, you did something that we didn't even talk about in the class. You got a little like header up top.
Yeah, I got so breadcrumbs is important. Now that I can go back to San Diego and I'll be able to see all dojos in San Diego. And if I go to California, you'll be able to see all the dojos in California too.
What? That's cool.
So that adds on to and all the cities inside of California. Obviously, I don't have all the cities yet, but this is exactly where we're going with it. That way, each state is now getting. So if you go to my sitemap, let's go to sitemap. I created a cool little. sitemap.
What is this? What is this, Austin? Is this a sitemap for your is this a page for your sitemap?
Yes.
Wait, so how does Google render this?
I haven't even so I can go and view that XML file right here. I'll have that XML file. But this is showing like the main pages, the site pages, all of these 157 state pages, 157 state pages. That's just with that's just the state pages, and then the city pages, 470. Then we scroll
zip
down.
codes. Look at
that.
And then I have information pages, and then I have my utility pages.
Wow. Austin, this is amazing. Like, this is really well done. Like, this totally gives somebody like, hey, like, go check out my site. There's like visual proof of everything. Just visit the sitemap page.
Yeah.
They could easily see how many pages you have within your site like this.
And that was the main goal, is to make it as super, not just like the understanding for me, but like understanding, okay, I have this many pages, these aren't indexing, why? That way I can go back and look into everything. And what I can show you guys, when I went to go build the website, I don't know about how you have built your websites, Jeff, but when I built my website, I made it to where all of my websites are, the website has like it follows a template of each dojo page. And I guess I could show that real quick. So if I go to my file manager, my screen shows sharing. So here, so each city has a template, the dojo has a template, and then obviously the main page. I have the dojos in the JSON file, and then my locations, which would be eventually all of the cities, states, and zip codes in a JSON file.
Very awesome. That is awesome. So you have your dojos in a JSON file. Awesome.
Yes.
You are like literally like 2 steps ahead of the class. That's amazing. Because I'm not even fully there yet where you're at building with my site. Like, I haven't even fully put lawyers or dispensaries or anything like that. And you're doing this. I'm amazed, man. I am blown away how far you're taking this site so far. So Austin, okay, this is cool. Go ahead.
So one thing that I had trouble with, I don't know if there's a way you can fix it, because I know for me, okay, for an example, I went to Website Scraper API, and when I get back the JSON, I have to completely redo it, because of the fact it's not updated to how I have the JSON right now, because of the fact that like this is pulling both the instructors, the schedule, and the way it's laid out, like the schedule is completely like it's 20 different lines when I only needed like 10. So I guess I'm gonna just create an assistant that will just automate that all for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally understand what you're talking about. I'm actually gonna redo that whole freaking thing just because there's a couple little bugs, and I'm just like, dude. So that's why I'm saying you're a few steps ahead, because I'm surprised you're doing this, because I'm not even there yet to make my software to be able to do this. Like, this is impressive.
Each city, the way I have the JSON file right now, each city has zip codes. That's kind of where how I like to have the JSON file. If it's not that way, that's fine. I'll go and manually do it. But I mean, it's cleaner that way. But yeah, that's how I have this all set up. My only downfall right now is getting it to where it has all the cities and states in there.
Very cool. Now here's just a little plug with the cities and states. All I did was type in city and state JSON file or database file, all cities and states database. And then I found like different GitHub repos. And GitHub is a really good place for that. And people will just like, here's a few giant JSON of all the cities and states. And I'm like, thank you. Save.
Yeah, I can look more into that. It's just, there's a lot of manually, the way I have it set up, I have to manually redo things, and that takes a lot of time.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense.
That's what I got for you guys today.
I'm incredibly impressed. Well done, Austin. Well done. Like, that is really good. That's really cool. Anyone have any other questions? Like, do you like? Okay, so Austin, how long have you been working on that site since you've been watching that video?
So I watched like 6 different videos 6 different times, just to like get an understanding, because it was there was a lot of back and forth, and I just want that way I was taking notes. I literally have a notebook of like 6 different pages full, and it's so I took notes, and then I set that website up yesterday in 3 hours.
That's what's up, man.
Great
That's
job.
good. That is beautiful, bro. That is beautiful, Austin.
Yeah, so that's the main thing that I'm dealing with. And so to give you guys an idea of what my tech stack is, I used one and only my AI team, and then I also, because my AI team doesn't, PHP isn't renderable, so I went into Cursor, created the PHP files, and had Cursor create me a dummy JSON file too.
Look at you. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, man. Well done. That's cool to see. Yeah. Yeah, that's really awesome, man. And now what's your plan? I guess you said your next step. What do you feel is your next step? I think you kind of said it a little bit. What do you feel is your next step?
So the next step is to I want to contact every so I was talking to Paul Carpenter, and we were talking, and we are like, well, what if we did what Hermosi did with like CrossFit gyms? What if I did that with like jujitsu gyms, but created it to where like made it to where like it was a directory, and we can get them advertising on the directory, and I'm also building into the directory a spot where people can go in and run ads like Yelp does. And that way, okay, I have that to where people can go and they can funnel that type of stuff, and it'll be all SEO optimized to where people can go and do that.
That is awesome. Okay, so promoted and then ads.
Yes.
That's really cool. It's interesting because I asked that is because so here's the direction. So you see how you just uploaded, you took the data from Website Scraper API and you put it into your JSON file. The ultimate goal for me is I want to make it where we have little dashboards that we could just upload a CSV to, and then it just auto imports it into our site. And so now you could go through and scrape each one of these, like these sites. You could go through and scrape all of these locations and upload it to your site, just like what you're doing. However, you're, like I said, you're like 2 days ahead of the class, man. You're even ahead of me, man. Like I'm over here trying to fix the data and you're still kicking butt. So that helps me that you're on the data. So maybe you could help me with the data, and we could go back and forth and talk about it,
Yeah, of course. Like, what is your question? Like, I guess the question is, what are you stumped on?
Did you have an issue with the output? Was that
so
like lining?
So yeah. So here, let me go into Website Scraper API. Let's log in.
Is it when you hit export as JSON?
Yeah. So
like it probably doesn't look like the JSON that it's outputting, huh?
No, it really. Where is? I can go to my search history, view results.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make it where it all lines up and all that stuff.
Okay, so here, let me share my screen.
Let's hit it, see it.
Let's go to this one. Share screen. Okay. So if we go to, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm in the website scraper API, and I'm just looking at the data that it just gave me not that a couple days ago. So we were seeing, just to give you a reference of how I have my JSON file set up. Let's go right back to the right one. So this one has schedule in the schema. If we go to website scraper, it has all these separate lines when it really doesn't need all that nonsense. It could literally all be in one bracket.
Let me see how yours is, and then I'll screenshot it really fast. Nice. Okay, so schedule in there. Okay, cool. Very cool.
So it's just cleaner this way. Like ID, the ID will be like the SEO ranking, and the name of the company, the address, zip code if it has it. And then, I mean, obviously, this pulled more information that's not going to be inside of other people's things.
Yeah. Okay. Dude, that's clean.
Yeah, like this, like I didn't need any of this stuff. It just gave it to me. I don't even know what this stuff is. It looks like it's
Those are all the images for the
images. Yeah.
Mm.
That's another thing. I think I don't even remember what it. No, it didn't show me what I used. But like, even if we could be able to go in and scrape the like specific details from a Google map, like, can we scrape specific details from a listing?
Like you would want specific details, and what would you want from that listing?
So, for an example, I don't need all the images inside of a listing. I only need it. Main thing I'm gonna need is the business name, the hours, the website if they have one, and then that's about it. That's all I really need. That way, if people are able to select what they need, it'll be more user friendly in a way. That way they could be like, okay, I only need the names in the websites, or I only need the name, website, and the phone number.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. All right, cool. Yeah, I could make that update. So thanks. Dude, that's huge.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sorry
So
to steal the class. I feel like I was teaching.
dude, no, like I think it's amazing that you're taking the knowledge that we're learning, and you're like, and we're actually doing in the class, we're teaching in the class, and you're doing it. Like you're not just and you're doing a really good job with it. Like you're doing absolutely fantastic with it. And so like I'm really impressed, man. Like I'm really proud of you. Like you're doing freaking good, man. And you should be proud of yourself too. Like, yeah, look at you. Like, so I mean, the fact that you're taking, because here's, what's really crazy. This is what's happening. I'm not talking to just this little group. I'm talking to like probably like 5 to 6 to 7 to 10 people all about programmatic SEO websites on a regular basis right now, where people are coming to me and I'm seeing people build full-on websites for custom developers in San Diego, like full-on custom homes, and they're targeting hundreds of categories and dominating San Diego and selling leads for $1 million homes. And it's like it starts with one site, and then you start to build 2, build 3, then you start to sell more leads, and then you keep getting better with it. And then like I'm selling these sites on the side too, like for a few $1,000s, like for one site, just one. The same thing that we're all doing here, I'm selling for a few $1,000s, and it's paying for Christmas. Like, dude, it's solid. You guys saw that. I was just like, dude, like, you guys saw this whole little journey, right? A lot of you guys have, right? So it's like, it's cool to see that we find something that's working, not only working. This is what's really interesting. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Not only working with, let's see. So it is search, right? Boom. So search analytics. It's not only working. This is the okay. So this is the cannabis site, right? So we have this site, and here's what I'm going to add. Okay. There's a site that I want to show you guys that is really cool. So it's called Tailwind. It's not called Tailwind. It's another one. So
is it Shad CN?
Let's see. I don't know if it's Shad CN. I don't know if I have my history up. Let's see. Surely I have my history up. Tailwind data is Flowbyte, baby. All right, so cool. Check this out. Flowbyte. All right, so there's a lot of people that talk about React.js and all this stuff. However, I tried using it. I just haven't figured it out. I'm sure one day I'll use it. But Node.js, whatever the heck that crap is. But until being, I'm using straight up this stuff. Okay, so this is something called Tailwind CS, but this is a website called flow.byte. Okay, I recommend checking it out. The reason why is because flow.byte already has like really beautiful styled things. All right, and so you could come on here and just like find things that are already styled, and you could tell the AI like this is what it is. It's like a whole like user code base, and then now you could add this right into your site, right? And so this is when I'm going to update my site. I'm going to come in here and be like, dude, make it look like this. Use this code. So the site's really, really powerful for Azure building. But if we actually look at this, so if I look at my actual stats, so this is the Google site. And then here I have this attorney site. And you can see right now, we just had that little hiccup when we were submitting our sitemap. Well, we submitted it. They're starting to review it now. They're starting to see more of the pages. I checked on here. If we look at the performance in the last 24 hours, if you look right here, if we go to we have all of these ones that we're starting, like Goodyear Estate Attorney, Goodyear Trust Attorney. Like these are all ones that we're actually starting to come up for on Google, right? Like this is like a brand new site. Well, if we go over here to pages, look what's happening. The very first one is our new file structure, our new URL structure, right? Attorney search near me /attorney/city/state. Well, you can see we're getting the most impressions already on this. And then we have some of our old ones that are ranking. What's up, Austin?
Why don't you rank for so you see how it has attorney /city/state? Why don't you be more hyper specific and be attorney, injury lawyer, city state?
Absolutely. Yes. So literally what you just said is probably the most realistic next step. Today, I was kind of thinking, should I go in the direction that you're going, where I start to build page by page? You know what I mean? Where I upload all of my attorneys. Or should I start to build my categories? So that's like the two directions. Like one, do you start to rank for the attorney names or the business names itself? Or do you start to rank for more categories on your site?
Well, because you gotta think of it in a Google's perspective. When someone's searching, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be searching the name. They're going to be searching injury lawyer near me. They're going to be searching civic or civil lawyer near me. They're not going to be searching the specific name. Yeah, maybe 1/10 out of the time they'll be searching that name, but it's better to be able to be ranking for those categories that you can be, okay, I'm the #1 directory for injury lawyers.
Yeah. Okay, that's really amazing that you say that, Austin, because do you know that's what I'm most nervous about adding to my site right now? I'm most nervous about adding categories. And I feel like the reason I'm most nervous is because I don't know. That's just lame. You know, when you like you know when you do something, you're like, I don't want to mess it up. You know what I mean? Like I already submitted this much. I don't want to break anything.
Jeff, don't get comfortable, bro.
Fear of the unknown.
But
You're getting
but if-
comfortable, bro. Get the fuck out of your feelings. There's
It's like
no
not
fun
even
there.
it's
But Jeff, look at the data right now. If you look at the data right now, you can realize, okay, well, it's somewhat ranking. If you were to rank for those specific attorneys, see that people are looking for estate attorneys, different types of trust attorneys. If you were to rank for those, you would have so much more possible success.
like this one right here, it's like attorneys in carpinteria. This is essentially that's what I was trying for. But this is what you're saying, carpinteria personal injury lawyer is what we should be going for next. And then doing this because
Like even like a DUI, like if you go up, there's like different types of attorneys, like DUI attorneys, estate attorneys, trust attorneys.
yeah.
Looking at that, I would be like, okay, I would rank for the categories.
What do you got, Ed?
So I was going to say, if you really want to go all out, just scrape all of your data right there as far as the search queries that bring people to your site or bring up the impressions, and just let the cursor create a page titled those exact search phrases. Do an exact search phrase match, and that way you have a page literally named every one of those things too. And especially if you could create some way to auto populate that and auto expand that to where it was always going back in, scraping the latest queries and adding a page that matches that query, that would you know, I mean, they love that exact match stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So if we were to do this with this exact match, what you just said, if we look at this and study this, what they're saying, like, check out this. So if we one by one, Lake Placid thermal burn attorney, like that would have never crossed my mind, but that's going to be something that's in there. Okay. So if we go through and then we have like Goodyear estate attorney, Goodyear trust attorney. So if we essentially have an attorney. Okay, so where do we start? Let's start inside my team. And how would I do this? I would essentially want to create categories in a giant list into this drop down. So if we go to attorney search near me, all right. This little drop down is the thing. So, all right, this feels large. All right, but I guess, do you guys want to go through this with me and submit these category sitemaps right on this call?
I would,
like, because I'm not joking. For me, this feels
plans.
all right. Like, because for me, this feels like an overwhelming task where, like, whew, it's one of those things where it's like it's such a large task because you're submitting all of these sitemaps to Google, so you also have to make sure like it functions. And I'm sure that in my brain, it's way harder than it is why we go through it. However, why we go through it, I'm gonna stumble. So this is just letting you know this is it. All right. So
are we grabbing
I don't
data
got
directly
anything
from
else.
here? Is that what we're doing? And maybe I can help you a little bit late on the mental side here. So like, are you just grabbing data here? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. So do you know what site this is, Renee?
No.
Catch you up to speed. So this site right now, this is one of my most recent sites.
Cool.
So
Hell yeah.
attorney search. attorney search near me. So what we could do is how this works, just to catch you up and everybody else is watching the replay. If you come on here and you hit like search by location, as of right now, if I refresh this page or if I just close it out, right, and I go to this URL, so you see us as attorneysearchnearme.com/the city and then the state, Alabama, right? Albanville state, Alabama. Well, I have 33,000 now. I think it's 27,000 because there were some duplicates. I have 27,000 cities and states in the United States that this combo works with.
Okay.
So that's called my sitemap. Okay. So if we go to something called a sitemap.php, right? Just kind of like what Austin just showed us a few seconds ago, as soon as I could spell. Austin has his sitemap. Well, I have my sitemap. This is all of the.
This is how my sitemap looks too.
Yeah. Right. So that is essentially what we're doing. And then when you search this, it automatically goes to this page and it searches attorney in this city and state when you go to this page. So on this call, as soon as it's, I'll just close that. As soon as it's on this call, the idea is instead of it being attorney here, we add categories. And those categories, essentially where it says attorney, it needs to auto-populate this category right here.
Yeah.
And we need to add hundreds of categories.
Yeah.
And
I
what
agree.
that's going to do is it's essentially, so here's what we need to do is we need to add a sitemap for each category. Okay, so for each category. However, the sitemap can't be one sitemap for everyone because Google only accepts 50,000 URLs in a single sitemap. So we have to literally make a new sitemap for each category, which has all the cities and states. Okay, so that means we need to update our robot.txt file to include a link to all of those sitemaps. All right.
When submitting to Google?
When submitting to Google. Okay, because we need to submit this sitemap now.
Yeah.
Inside here, when we submit this sitemap and it says the sitemap, essentially we're going to submit one page and it's going to be called categories sitemap.php. Okay. And then inside that category sitemap, it's going to have sitemaps within that sitemap. Okay.
Oh, you did it a lot easier than what I did. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah. Okay. This makes a lot more sense.
All right. We're just submitting the sitemap because we just submit a sitemap and then boom, Google sees all of our pages. Then it starts indexing our pages. Okay. This is what it looks like when we do it properly. I submitted here is over here in the categories. Okay. So I've done this once. I'm just nervous because you see how it says could not fetch. I've had errors during this process. Okay. And the reason I've had errors is because here, watch what happens. When I click on this sitemap, open dispensaries near me, if I click on this, it actually has, this one had the error, sitemap could not be read, general HTTP, but then inside, it actually read them because it read all of the individual sitemaps. However, I was so like, I got this error and it made me nervous because it was like, oh, I didn't read all of my sitemaps. But the reality, it didn't. When you submit this main sitemap, of course it doesn't fetch because that's not a sitemap. It's a sitemap that directs you to all the other sitemaps. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah.
So
those are going to be normal.
So they're going to be. It's going to say normal could not fetch. However, for me, I see red and I'm like, dude, I'm nervous. This is my first time doing it. Like this is where I'm at. This is. I have the same feeling that it's going to do to me again, and I'm going to see this red, and it's still going to give me the same feeling. I've been in Tico. Red is bad. All right, like red is bad.
I love what you're doing here, bro. I think this is extremely unique because I never would have considered creating a sitemap that links other sitemaps inside of the sitemap, which is very Inception-like.
I only know that is because I've submitted a sitemap that was too many pages, the category sitemap right here, and it basically said, hey, like, that's too many. You can't have that. You can't do that. So it said there was too many sitemap pages. So I just kind of learned, right? So we're just going along for the journey. However, I'm just letting you guys know I'm equally nervous is because crypto green is good, red is bad, right? So it said could not fetch, but then when you click on the second page, here's another one that says here, look, I discovered all the URLs, and then it starts ranking. And then if I go to pages, well, guess what? It's starting to do that. I have 70,000, 77,000. Well, if you look at my performance just in the last 24 hours, okay, if we go to my pages, my top query is smoke shop near me. It would be who of me, or it'd be smart of me to add smoke shops on my site, okay, because literally I'm ranking for them all the freaking time, right? And then the other one is it would be smart of me to add vape shops, because that's another thing that I'm ranking for, right? So I could always go through this and see what I'm ranking for, all of these. Like there's just a ton. So, however, you can see if I look at my pages come up. I have dispensaries and I have those my main ones, but also you'll see I actually have the medical marijuana dispensaries. Okay. I actually have those category pages that are ranking. So I've done this and it works, and I see that it ranks. I just equal, and this would look recreational, and then we have medical, recreational. So that just doubles my site with another 33,000 pages. So I've done this before. However, I've done it once. So this is my second time. Am I equally nervous on the second time? Yeah, I am. All right. I am. All right.
This isn't your first rodeo, though.
It's not, but you're still nervous when you get on the pool. So it's like all right.
I believe in you, Jeff.
All right, so here we go. So we have to create this and make it work. And AI has to do all the coding for us. All right, so here we go.
What's your current stack? Is it, I know you said you're using PHP and cPanel?
Yeah, I think he's using PHP, cPanel, what from Namecheap.
Okay, very nice.
So this is inside Namecheap, and basically I use a cPanel shared hosting. It's $34.34 a year. That's what I pay. Like a boss. All right.
Yeah, you pay
So
a lot
here we
less
go,
than
yeah.
I do.
Yeah, dude, there's so many things that are like monthly services for this hosting and this hosting. And I'm like, dude, I'm tired of this. I want to own my code. I don't care. I'll figure out everything else. This is it. And that's why I'm at. So
No, that's
okay,
good.
so
That's good.
So we're here. Let's work on this main site. Now, here's what Austin did that I really, really like what Austin did. Austin made it where he has it where it's not a single page. It's actually multiple pages. Like I have attorney search near me. Is this correct, right, Austin? You actually have it where it's like, you actually make it where it's a different page, not just this searching different categories. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Okay. Or my internet's bad.
If you're not frozen. All right.
You're
I'm
just
not
thinking real hard.
Oh, okay. Let's just join from my computer.
It's probably the AI slowing you down because it knows you're trying to put it to work.
Only person that's frozen for me right now is Jeff.
Yeah, same here.
Same.
Same.
That's that Vegas connection out there.
Yep, it's got to be.
He just lost a bet.
Damn. Well, that's okay. No, I'm just surprised because like after seeing all this, I'm surprised he just doesn't use like an AI that like fully builds out the end-to-end stack, and he could just talk to it about the SEO side, because I feel like if he just talked to like Replit Agent with this, he'd be so much further than, like, I don't think he would be even scared about this shit, because what he just explained is so doable. So I'm excited to watch him do it. Oh, he's muted.
Jeff, you're frozen.
He's muted.
Oh, now you're muted.
Oh, I meant muted.
Now he's
Oh,
Now
still
you got
muted.
double.
Good Jeff.
Look at this.
Now he's got two of them, but now he's double muted.
Oh my gosh. It's a clone. You're cloning yourself.
Hopefully we're back. All right.
There he is.
There he is.
There's the fucking dude.
The anticipation, baby. All right. All right. So good old internet. All right, cool. So we're back. All right, cool. So we're here. Should I make it where it's individual pages, or should I make it where it's its own? That is the question right now. So first, let's start off with chatting with the AI and basically getting all of our categories. So let's start off with that. So I'm just gonna say I need a little like button that just says create blank. You know what I mean? That'd be really helpful. Like, because there's a lot of times I don't want it to like do anything. I just want it to like chat with the AI for now.
Bro, I love how much stuff you put on it though. Just look at all that shit.
Dude, I do so much in this thing.
I know you do. It's great. You
All right,
actually
so-
use your own shit.
Yeah. All right. So this is a legal case manager thing that I was doing anyways. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the history just so I don't have this. So here's what we're going to do. So here's what we're going to say. So we're going to copy all these things. Actually, we're going to do exactly. So I am creating a programmatic SEO directory for lawyers, and I want a category, even though if I spell it horribly wrong, category for each. I'm going to say I want 100 categories. Let's just start with this categories for injury lawyers. Okay. Bro. Lawyers. Okay.
One day.
All right. So give me JSON. All right. So let's just see where we're at. 100 categories for injury lawyers in JSON. So what does that mean? We shall see, and then that shall be our injury lawyer. I think we'll start with there. Injury lawyer categories. You know what? That's close enough. I think I don't want it to say categories, but motor accident, Uber, Lyft, accident injury, playground, maritime injury, boating, accident, sidewalk, police time, bar fight, hazing, bullying. All right, so these are injuries. Okay. So those are types and specializations that the lawyers will handle. So essentially, would it be a category, or do we need to actually have attorneys at the end of that? Anyone have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think when you put 100 injury attorneys or lawyers, I think you just need to put 100 lawyers. I don't know why you wanted 100 injuries.
Yeah, I would just.
So I think that's why it's doing those real specialized cases for injuries. But is that all you're going for, is injury lawyers?
I want to start small, at least get 100 on there so I could get the system down. Is essentially, but the injury lawyers is mainly, let's just say I wanted to call one lawyer to sell them leads. Well, the difference between a divorce lawyer and an injury lawyer is night and day, from what I'm learning.
Right, but that's why. But you put 100 categories for injury lawyers. I think you just needed 100 categories for lawyers, or ask AI the top 100 categories for lawyers. But that's why I was asking if you're going for injuries in specific. You know.
Yes. So for me, I am narrowing it down because I know that there's so many categories in the lawyer space. I'm going to narrow it down at first to injury. And the reason why is because if I was to sell one lead to a person, there's a difference for me on my end between a divorce lawyer.
Right.
This
But
somebody wants-
you're asking for 100 injury.
Yes.
That's why it's giving you dental injuries. You don't want dental injuries, do you? I'm not going to. There's a difference, and that's why I was thinking if you put primary or top or categorize injury attorneys starting with 20, so you could prompt that in a different way to get what is considered specializations within the injury attorneys. But the way that you prompted it, it's drawing up boating accidents and all that. That's all under an injury attorney. Those dental malpractice, and those are all under injury attorneys. So that's why I think you. I didn't know if you wanted to get into those specializations that you pulled up in that prompt.
Okay, yes. Okay, so I first do want to focus on injury lawyers.
Right.
So that's going to be my first one that I want to focus on. Is these called categories? What would these be called? So let's break this down. So give me a JSON and include the word lawyer in it. Lawyer in it. Let's see where we're at now. All right, so here's what I want to do is I'm going to go into my file, and inside here, so this is
Vegas got him again.
Yep.
I gotta go for now. Actually, you all have a great time. Thanks
All
for
right,
letting me
later.
be around. Good luck. Bye.
Good to see you. You there, Austin?
Yep.
There you go. You're not frozen.
No,
It's-
I'm not frozen.
Focus for a second. I don't even know if Jeff can still hear. But what I'm thinking about, just since we're chatting, is it seems like he's creating this. First started with the dispensary, then it's attorney, then you're doing jujitsu. I'm curious. See, I think more and then I thought, well, we were all talking, or he was talking a second ago. You've heard us talk about selling the shovel, in terms of the not teach them to mine. It's the whole gold mining thing, right? It's just sell the shovel. So with this, I'm thinking, okay, we're kind of training or teaching to do these one-off categories, jujitsu, lawyer, but then that's a huge net, right? Web that has to be created. Why not just create a city and state directory that has some city and state content in it, and then put jujitsu in the city, and then put attorneys in the city, so that basically the net's already out there. It's just the categories within the net aren't. You follow? So rather than jujitsu near me, it would say whatever, anything near me, although that was not what we would do, .com. And then the subcategory would be jujitsu, the subcategory would be lawyer.
Okay, so
Then we would build this humongous net on that one website, and then we could either teach people to build, like say me with real estate, this because that seems to be the way that where knowledge that I come from, is then I could either build my own within that Colorado Springs net, or I could build within other ones and charge people. But basically the net would be out there, just not the particulars of the net. Then we could teach those what do they call it, last mile type of ideas.
The site that you're talking about is a ginormous site. There's a guy that in the United Kingdom, I believe he is, and created a website, and I posted it inside of the chat. he created a is like UK businesses or businesses in the UK,
Right.
and that was 130 million pages. So creating something like that is doable.
But you're getting me wrong here. What I'm saying, you're getting me right, but wrong. I'm not talking about building the whole thing. I'm just talking about building the initial steps and then teaching people. Then they could use that same SEO framework web that you've created.
Agreed.
And so rather than building these, rather than you having to link jujitsu to every city and state in the country, and then Jeff have to link to every city and state in the country, and then me having to link to every city and state in the country. We have one website that's linked to every city and state in the country, and then all that each of us have to do is provide that last mile jujitsu or baits or whatever it might be within that web that we already created. Then that's going to get a much more Google juice. It's also going to be yeah, so a lot of the first steps are already taken, and it's only the last mile that we would sell, purchase, or build.
Yeah.
So that's
I get where you're coming from now.
Yeah, because otherwise we're essentially just each of us are having to build the same thing rather than just build the shovel and then let us each shovel what we want at the end of that shovel.
Right.
So
So essentially what you're talking about is letting people, so like building like the in a sense it's going to be like a directory builder to where people can go in and upload their own like create their own subcategory and be able to rank for all that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's basically we're all building the same thing. Why do we keep building the same initial steps and then just tweaking the end steps each on our own? You know, Jeff or all of us together could just build this giant web,
Right.
and then sell the training or the done for you type of things for those people that want to be within that city and state directory that we already created. But then at that point you start going, okay, well, essentially we're just building what's already created through a Yelp or these other sorts of sites, and then that's where you think about the ROI. Is it really worth it, and that sort of thing. But that's, sorry, Jeff, you ducked out again, and so I just started.
No, thank you for taking over.
Things on my mind because you got an attorney search near me, jujitsu search near me, whatever it is. Why not just have a searchnearme.com/attorneys/jujitsu/doctors? Then we could build this whole framework, and then we each sell or build that last mile at the end of that web, rather than the whole having to rebuild the whole web and purchase all of the Google registration or whatever. I'm just babbling, but you follow.
Yeah, it's actually interesting that you said that, because here's where I was going to is I realized that, like, ultimately, let's just say I have all these categories, right? Well, you're right, Troy, you're going to need the categories too. You know what I mean? Like, if you're doing this, and Todd is going to need the categories, and Austin's going to need the categories, and Ed's going to need the categories. So ultimately, if we had some type of system that you could upload the categories, so that's going to be a very interesting, thing. So,
I think the way I see it is, it says searchnearme.com. Jeff, I'm just being simple. You build this whole massive platform, and then you're teaching Austin, you're teaching me, you're teaching Ed how to go within our geographic area, city and state, and then build what we want. You're charging for that use on there, and we can figure that. I have some ideas, but I don't want everybody to get lost in my babbling. But then we just slowly everybody starts building essentially their own sub page all within your site. But yeah, would have to look, because I think that's essentially like, say, a Yelp or different types of sites. We would just, I think, simplify it. I always like to go back to Craigslist, so it's like a Craigslist simplicity and size.
Hmm.
But that's,
So
I'm not trying to throw you off. I'm just, I mean, it's all great. I'm just trying to make it, I think of it in maybe a simpler and a larger way. Is just build one thing that because a lot of these pieces are just duplicate pieces, and
They're just
for
So-
that we're each building. Sorry, go.
I see it from two different angles because, like, right now, I am building a simpler version, and if Jeff isn't too busy, I don't want to distract him. But if he wants to pull up the site that I'm working on right now, because I can't share my screen from my phone, as far as my desktop browser, but go to sandbox.abcmoldremoval.com. And I threw this together yesterday, and it's not really much, so I wasn't really planning on sharing it. But just going back to what you said about building the shovel, I'm really just trying to build a local SEO service type business template to where when I can go into Cursor and I want to change it, I can just tell Cursor, hey, I'm no longer in the mold removal business. Now I'm in the painting business. The name of my painting company is this, and here's the new logo. And, you know, just from that right there, it basically repopulates and rebuilds the website for that specific business. But, I've only targeted, I used Cursor actually and just told Cursor to give me the 50 closest cities, or actually I told it, give me all 50 or all the cities in a 50-mile radius from my zip code, and Cursor actually spit them out to me and put them on that site. And those are the only pages that are searchable, and then there's a link tree of all the cities at the bottom of the page. But going back to the selling the shovel, I mean, I could sell it with a little tutorial course, like, you can do this yourself if you know how to do hosting and set up your domain and all that. Or if you want the simple done for you solution, it's $2,500, and I could slap it together in 3 to 4 hours probably. But nothing too complicated or anything. But as a service-based owner, I know exactly what we want, and I have lots of people that ask me for websites all the time, and I have people that I built websites for before I even started my mold company. And I mean, they ask me, like, they're always asking me if I'll rebuild their website, or they're looking for somebody to rebuild their website because truthfully their website was done 15 years ago and it's still the only one they use, and they can't even find anything like within their budget to replace it with. And I mean, even if I was selling these for $1,500, like, I could sell the hell out of them. Just the fact that they're SEO optimized for a mile radius around you for every single city. But but then at the same time, from perspective of, I also want to push it to see, like, what can we do? How far can we take it? How do we take it that far? Like, just
Yeah.
kind of, the same way, like, I haven't done half the stuff that Jeff or Austin have done as far as the JSONs or the scraping APIs or anything like that, because I'm one of those people, like, I don't want to take a step forward if I think I'm going to have to take 2 steps back if I learn a better way to do it. So, I mean, I've been devouring so many Cursor tutorials and everything like that. But I mean, it's still fun just to see, like, how far can we push the boundaries? What can we do, or how can we accomplish this? Because I mean, really, it's all just practice. Like Jeff was saying in a different class, like, even a doctor, after they graduate and open up their own office, they still call it a practice. Like, we're always practicing, and it's not that we're trying to reinvent the wheel, but it's like, how can we make our own wheel? And so in terms of, like, I definitely see what you're saying, but I don't mind watching us make mistakes and learn from those mistakes either.
No, of course. No, this looks great.
Dude,
But
this is amazing.
yeah, yeah, I mean, are we on the same page? Because I think we are. I mean, I'm just talking about, so what you built would just be, yeah, I'm sure you guys get it.
This is amazing.
A shovel, right? Like you said, a shovel for people. Like so many people just have basic identity sites, and there's not really much SEO tied into it. And like they want the SEO, but SEO people are expensive, or they're not worth a dime, and they want $1,000. So. And I mean, we're really learning how SEO works with Google, even though they won't tell us, but it really just goes down to matching content, and that's it. And matching content for them just comes down to keywords and localization.
I just went back to look at something I had sent Jeff, and I don't even know where I came across this, but it was what did it say? Rank and rent. So the idea, it just popped in my mind as you're talking, and what we're talking about is basically you build this huge platform that essentially has some juice in it and ranks, and then you can either rent these spots within it, or build these spots for them within it, or teach them how to build it themselves within this initial nationwide category rent, or what we're saying, sorry, directory. So
Yeah,
I think makes sense. We're all on the same page. I think we're all
it
good.
does.
Yeah.
I think this direction is going freaking amazing. Like, I think with what you have here, like Ed, and what you're saying, Troy, is ultimately we should make it like, it's almost like, let's just take a step back from like trying to build a whole bunch of sitemaps, because that's like cutting down the forest really fast. If we take a step back and we say, hold on, we all know that we're doing this, and we keep doing this, like all of us keep doing this. Well, if we stop and be like, how do we make this systematized? So all I have to do is slap my logo here, put my stuff here, put this here, but I don't have to do anything. I could pick between stuff. Ultimately, I mean, so this is the idea. So here's this, a category name, slug, description. This is like the idea of, so I wonder what this is going to look like. So here's what I just did, is I just created a code that does two things. So it essentially gets my categories.json file. Okay. So I have a categories.json file, which I actually don't have on my site yet. Okay. I don't have in here anywhere that's called categories.json. But if we create a brand new one called categories.json, and if I now have this called category, let's just say category updater, right? Category updater. If we .html, right? So if we have this category updater.html, I wonder if there's like any PHP in this. Let's see. Hopefully not. We'll get an error if not. But essentially category updater.html. And if I go to this page now and I hit save, let's see if this works. So attorney search near me. Attorney search near me. And what we're going to say is this is going to be, what is this called? What did I just name this random page? Category updater .html, right? So we're here. So we have category, and now I could say just advertising for now. And I could say description. I could just say, let's just say attorney. All right. So description, find an attorney. All right. Category. Failed to save categories. Okay. So inspect, failed to load, failed to save categories. So ultimately we want it to, so I got this, this error. The JSON file is empty. If nothing is there, can you create it, please? Please. And if the file doesn't, oh yeah, I'm just going to say that, please. All right. And then boom. All right. So here, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to test something. Can I make a category management dashboard? And then can I update a JSON file? So I don't have to have a database, essentially, because we don't need a giant database for this. We just need JSON files. Can I update a database? And then if so, essentially what we're doing is making it where we could have that drop down. And then essentially the direction that we're going to be heading with this is what you guys are saying. We want to be able to make it where I could essentially build this whole page, but by editing a simple like sign up area. So let's see. So let's refresh this category name. Let's just say advertising. Let's just say test for now. Category failed to save. Post API save categories. Okay. So it's not, it's calling an API. I'm just going to say, because I know what it's trying to do. Can you add the PHP to this to make it work with only this script, please? All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to call this categories.php. All right. So, so this is going to update. We're going to have a little slug here, a description. We essentially want to start to create an admin dashboard for our whole entire backend so that when you set this site up, you just literally come in and set this whole thing up. This is going to be insane. Okay. So, this is going to be quite the project, but I'm excited to build this. Success, false error, invalid JSON data. What does it even mean? Invalid JSON data. What's that, man? Load categories.php. What? I don't have load categories.php. Well, let's see. PHP load categories. So this is a load categories.php. All right. So it's gave me some notes and I shall build that thing. So load cat. How did it spell that? Bam. Let's see what it said. Load categories.php. All right. Underscore PHP, create new file. Load categories.php, edit, grab this, copy that, bam. Let's try it again. Failed to save categories, try again. All right. Host not found, save categories. There's a save category now? Bro. All right. So let's just see right here. So I'm going to say, what is all the PHP code I need to make this work? Can you just give it back to me at the top of this file, please? So I don't need any other PHP files, just this one with PHP at the top. Let's try it. All right. So, so if we were to break this down into little steps. We would essentially want to be able to fully edit the site and make it where this whole thing can be adapted, like updated. So essentially you would need to have like your branding. Then you would need to be able to upload your cities, which I think what we could do is almost, if I just provide the cities, you could almost select the cities. You know what I mean? Like there's almost no need for us to like sit there and upload the cities.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know, I should just make it in the back end where you could just select the cities and be like, oh, I just want all of Cleveland, Ohio, and here's all the cities that I want in there. So almost the cities should be a selector. Man, we're going to build another software. This software is going to be sick.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be great if I could go to a website and I could go to Cleveland, Ohio. I see Ed's business or information, and in all the cities which he's also selected or is paying for, or however that works. And then I go, oh, I want to take over this category, real estate. And then I purchase that, either done for you or training for real estate within Cleveland. And then there's each categories within Cleveland. You can get the jiu-jitsu within Cleveland, whatever it might be. I like what you said when we were talking about the shovel, and then you talked about the forest. What it made me think of is, you know, rather than each of us planting a tree, we want to build the farm, and then let people plant their own trees, or we plant the trees for them. But we already have the big city and state, county, whatever network. That's our farm, and then you plant these business seeds, or within that farm. That's how I kind of, is a visual way I would see it.
Absolutely. All right, so check out what we just have so far. So it now, if I refresh it, it works. It looks like sometimes I get a little duplicate, but if I hit these categories, and this is the category.json file, we could see we have our categories.json file here. So it's updating our categories. So if we look at this and I hit edit, let's see what it looks like, raw edit. Boom. We have our name, lawyer, slug, description. Okay. So what does it look like when we add another one? So let's just say attorney, and find a attorney, add category, adds it here. If I refresh, it keeps doing it. So basically I could say when I refresh after submitting, it makes a duplicate. Makes a duplicate entry. Entry. Also, don't let there be more than one of the same.
Slug.
Do you think it should be category or slug? Slug should be the one that's most matters, or?
Well, because the slug is what you're going to be ranking for.
Okay. Great.
If that makes sense.
It sure does. All right, so so we have success updating the category management. We're also going to want it to where we could upload a CSV full of these things. Okay, so like a bulk upload. That would be really cool. So boom, got our code. Boom. Later, Todd. Love you, man. Glad you showed up. All right, so we're here. It didn't make us a duplicate. Let's delete this bad boy. Bam. Let's add lawyer. add lawyer. Let's see if it will let us add it. It did. Why'd you do that? Slug lawyer, because I spelt lawyer wrong. Liar. Liar. All right, let's try that again. Will it let me? Nope. All right. Cool. All right. Well, at least it won't let
give
me.
you an error though. You should have it to where it gives you an error.
Can you give me a funny, friendly, let's just say a clean error message on duplicate slug, please? All right, cool. So we're going to be working on this. This is going to be awesome, where we can add categories. And now let's see. So we almost need to build everything from a settings page. So almost like reverse engineer this whole thing. So this is going
It
to be
almost
awesome.
feels like you're rebuilding WordPress also.
It really does. It really does. Yeah. This is probably a WordPress plugin. It's like we could make it really hard, or it could be a WordPress plugin. Yeah. I mean, it does feel like we are building WordPress. This is crazy, huh? Yeah.
Because I mean, that's one of the things I'm going for. Like, you know, even though I got all the different cities, I'm trying to keep it single page. I'm trying to keep it lean. I'm trying to keep it fast. I plan on putting the photos in a different page with some kind of carousel with captions, and like maybe having a back end image uploader to where you can upload your image with your caption, but I don't want to distract away from page load time or anything for the main page. So very few featured images on the main page. But you know, for the most part, like if I'm reselling these, I'm letting people know, like, you know, you're not going to be able to really edit much. This is already optimized. It's everything you want, everything you need. And you know, as far as trying to keep it as lean as possible, and there's nothing for clients to mess up. You know, if they have a higher degree of skill, you know, I'm probably not the option they want. They could probably go to ChatGPT or any of the other million options and figure it out themselves. But I mean, there's lots of people that they're in their 40s, they're in their 50s, they got good, solid service businesses, and they haven't figured out the online thing yet. They figured out their service, but they just want a better presence online, or you know, an updated presence online, all those things. And you know, because right, the sky's the limit. I mean, when I'm using this software, I feel like I could be limitless. The only thing that's stopping me from being limitless is my own bottleneck of knowledge, which is why I am devouring. You know, I'll go on TikTok and look up cursor AI prompts and literally scroll for hours and hours and hours and see hours of 1 minute best clips for the whole entire night, you know. But it's I mean, that's just the way I absorb information. I love it, and just trying to find gold nuggets in anywhere I can, really. But because I mean, you know, again, we don't want to derail ourselves, like Troy said in the past, you know, like find your bullseye and just aim for it, and don't fall for the shiny object syndrome, because we can go anywhere we want.
Yeah.
So
It's a matter of it's a matter of what's going to put money in our pocket now. And you know, like I'm just messing around with this so far, and there's lots of little tweaks that I'm still going to make before it's up to my standards. But it's something where I already have a handful of people in my back pocket that I know I could call as soon as this is ready. And I mean, you know, the ones that are close to me, I'll be like, give me $500 and I'll have this up and running for you today. But then, you know, the people that I don't know, I mean, you're not getting this for less than 1,500. I make 1,500 if I go clean mold for the day. Like, this is something that's going to benefit your business forever. I mean, it doesn't matter that I could do it in 3 to 4 hours. I spent 3 months in an AI class learning how to do this.
Yeah, bro. Like while I was doing addicts, like get out of here.
right.
I earned this.
I dropped a link in the chat. It's called cursor.directory, and it's a bunch of different types of directory or bunch of different types of prompts that people use for cursor. And it has a bunch of different types of like languages you can use with those prompts. If that helps out at all.
Thanks, man. I'll definitely check it out.
That's huge. Okay, so
I
I just
think I sent you
essentially.
a friend request, Austin, but
Oh, that's nice. That's what's up. So ultimately, I just made it where we can make categories. That's going to help. Basically, that makes it where we can prove that we can edit JSON files, like edit, update, and delete and read. So that means we could have JSON as our database, and I don't need to connect to your database, at least for the things that aren't important. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, we're connected, Ed.
that's what's up.
I think the categories input is a great thing because, again, when you can get keywords up in the slug easily, that's critical as far as the exact match for keywords.
Yeah, imagine if we could come in here and this is how hard it is. You know what I mean? Like literally every time we add one of these, it adds 33,000 pages.
Well, I don't know if you saw the video I sent you yesterday about the new Gemini or Willow or whatever it is, but they say
Willow's
that
gonna be crazy.
they say it can completely, fully control your computer if you let it, and it will run any task for you. So going back to what I was saying about your Google Search Console, you could basically tell it that you want it to log into your Search Console, look for any new search terms that have been searched, and automatically add those as pages into your site, and possibly auto categorize them and things like that. But, and then you're completely hands off autopilot. Like you have AI literally just going out there scraping and uploading for you. And I mean, they say that should be like commercially ready in a few months. They say it's ready. It's open to developers right now. And I mean, basically it's replacing you sitting in your seat.
Yeah. Dang, this is amazing. Okay, so I like the direction that we're going. This is amazing. I'm going to keep on working on it. I think that we have something here. I think that this is something that if we like double down and build the shovels, so to speak, we can make a lot of money with this. And I think that like not only can we make a lot of money, I think that we could help a lot of people in a very systematic way.
Oh yeah.
So that's the main.
Help more people, when I say help more people get what they want, and you can get what you want. So.
Yep, one of my favorite speakers. So
That's right.
Yeah, Zig Ziglar.
Sell people what they want, give them what they need.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for showing up to the class today. It was awesome. I'll let everyone go and heck yeah.
All right.
All right. Heck yeah.
See ya.
See you next week.
See you guys.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.